Hello Aries, and welcome to your monthly forecast. This is for the month of September, and it's so good to see you again. I can't wait to get through everything and see what kind of messages are coming through for your sign this month. I'd like to take just a second here to say thank you so much to all of my returning viewers. It's your love, it's your support that really helps me come back each and every month, so thank you so much from my heart to yours. If you're brand new, I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Ashbaugh, and every month I create a forecast that you can use for your sun, your rising, and your moon sign. You can also watch it on behalf of someone that you care about, or if you don't know all of this, you can just look at the sign that you were born under and you'll get the information that you need. Now, the way that I organize the reading is as follows. I like to start off with channeled information first. This is where I connect to spirit and I give you whatever I'm seeing, feeling, or hearing. And really, it's my favorite part, and there's some great information that gets packed into that portion of it. Right after that, then I will look at the Celtic cross. And this allows for whatever needs to come through in a very nice organic way. And to make sure that I hit on areas that I know that you care about, I expand the forecast to look at health, wealth, love, and destiny right after that. So if you enjoy what you see here, and I really hope you do, please stick around until the very end. At that point, I will not only give you a summary of everything we talked about and a closing message, but I'll also give you some ways that you can give back. This includes everything from liking and subscribing to joining me on social media, booking an appointment, or even contributing through my website or Patreon. So again, I'll get into much more information about how that can make a difference at the end, but I know right now you're interested in your forecast, so let's get into the channeled message for the month of September. After selecting a deck of cards and meditating, I saw a couple pieces of information. The first was a visual, and I basically saw a hand outstretched. It reminded me, however, a little bit of what you would see on any of the 4 ace cards that you would look at in a Rider-Waite deck. Basically, a hand holding something or a hand waiting to receive something. Some of you may be at one or the other end of that sort of spectrum. You might be kind of reaching out and trying something new, or you might actually see something coming into your life because of the work that you've done. The important piece was actually the second component. In my mind, I saw the word believe, I heard it as well, and I understood when I kind of put together the two images that you have to believe in yourself. Your belief is going to be an attractive force, and it's going to motivate you to move forward and also motivate other people to come towards you. So I captured this in automatic writing. I said believe with an exclamation point. I said believe in yourself, believe in what is possible. This is probably the most important thing that we could look at this month. We'll take a look at what the opportunities are, but if you don't have faith in yourself, it's going to be very difficult, if not impossible, to have other people see the potential. So towards the beginning of this month especially, I want you to work on trying to build up your self-confidence, and also if there's anyone in your life that hinders that, either through nonverbal sort of cues, they roll their eyes when you talk, or they say things that are hurtful, you want to distance yourself and really focus on building yourself up and thinking, that is one point of view, that is one criticism, it does not define me and it does not predict my future. All that really matters at the end of the day is what you think of yourself, if you're happy with the work that you're doing, if you're happy with the life that you're living. And once you get on that track, other people will either fall in line or you're going to attract a better group of people that are going to be there to support you. So I hope that you surprise people by believing in yourself and accomplishing some wonderful things this month. Let's look at the cards now and see what those possibilities are. A reminder that at this point, as I pull out the Celtic cross, I'm going to remain quiet so that I can observe the cards, their placements, and also receive messages just like you. You have a wonderfully powerful card here that came through in the Catalyst position. Just a reminder to everyone, the Catalyst functions not only as a way to connect all the cards, but also as a way to activate or really latch on to the high energy of the month, the highest frequency of the month. And with the butterfly, not only are we getting a message here of transformation, also having that belief or faith in yourself that you can spread your wings, but also there is a gentle note here that you need to be patient with yourself and patient with others. The reason that I'm mentioning this is that as I looked at this image, I wasn't focusing so much on the butterfly itself, but the change that it went through to get to this state. When a caterpillar forms that chrysalis, goes into metamorphosis, it's something that takes time. In fact, almost the entire external shape of that creature changes. And the other thing is I was immediately sort of ported to what it is like to come out of the chrysalis when you're trying to get your bearings, when you're integrating with the new you that you've become. So breaking this down into everyday terms, what does this mean? It means that if there's something big going on in your life, a change of job, a change of relationship status, or maybe you've just changed your mind about something, the amount of time that it takes for you to understand that this is the new you or that this is going to happen, it varies from person to person. So know that change happens on the inside first. If you look at one of the videos of a caterpillar transforming into a butterfly, you'll notice that the first step is that it sheds its skin. And underneath, it's already sort of started the transformation. Now, for some of you, the fact that maybe you just got a diploma or you got a raise at work, or again, there could be some sort of a big shift in how people are treating you because of some change externally. If you don't integrate internally, if the outside happens first, if some sort of recognition happens, then there's internal catch-up that needs to happen. So whether you've done the work and you just have to come out and show people what's going on, or if it's the reverse, people see something in you that you don't see in yourself yet, this is the month to allow for everything to settle, the dust to settle. So spread your wings gently, take your time. You know, there may be a couple of missteps too. You know, that's normal, that's okay. Just keep moving forward, okay? The change is happening, the metamorphosis is already underway, but you have to trust yourself, you have to love yourself, and most importantly, you have to see yourself in this new you, in this new place that you're trying to create. As we look at everything this month, that's going to be really important. I'll try to identify areas where you may need some more time to settle in, or there may be people externally that see something in you that you don't, okay? The first card that we're going to look at is the center. We have the 9 of Wands, which is a great card that shows that you have the ability to make anything happen. It's a card of fighting, of perseverance, quite literally blood, sweat, and tears for some of you. If you look really closely at this, you'll notice that the bandana has a little bit of blood on it, and this is showing that somebody is willing to fight for something that they care about. The other thing, just symbolically, of course, we have a 9 close to a 10. 10 shows completion. So this is saying don't give up. You may still have some work to do. It may be annoying too, because sometimes when I see this, for many of you, you may feel like, I've done everything that I need. Why isn't it happening? The short answer is just be patient and perseverant, because just as you are changing, other people may also be doing that. So there may be some patience required for other people to evolve along with you, okay? So crossing that 9 of Wands, we have the Ace of Cups, and this is actually giving you a solution on how you could fix some of the delayed action that could be happening for those of you that feel overqualified or impatient about change. This is saying that it's your enthusiasm, it's your passion and your charisma that's really going to push things along. Another way to state this is that your positivity is kind of infectious in a good way this month. It will allow everyone to sort of be a part of that. And if you've ever had a leader in your life or a mentor that you've looked up to, and they just have this sort of ability to get you enthused, get you inspired, that's what you can do this month, but you have to see it. If you don't believe in what you're doing, if you don't see that potential, then everything stagnates. If you do, that's what gives you the chance to not only get other people to believe in it, but also things will start to take off. So I hope that you can do that. There's only one warning that I see with the combination of cards that we see here. This can be about fighting sometimes, fighting for what you want, pushing for something. This can be about emotions or subjective information or feelings coming through. So when it comes to professional things, maybe there's a big decision at work or you're in a personal relationship and you're trying to make a decision about selling a house, or if you should accept some sort of a job transfer or whatever, something that would affect everyone in the family. This card is saying that whatever your decision at hand may be, it may be a subjective decision. And in situations like this, the very heightened emotions that one would feel with the Ace of Cups could create a stalemate where both sides are feeling like, from their perspective, they are the ones that are right, and that all the facts and all the information is behind their decision. So empathy is going to be really important. Compromise, of course, is going to be important. And at the end of the day, you're going to have to weigh what's best for you, because you may not be able to make everybody happy. So that's going to be a difficult decision for some of you, but as we kind of navigate through this, I'll try to give you some more clarity, and we'll see if at the end it's clearer where you might need to give and take. Looking at deep past here, one of the notes that comes through is to not spread yourself too thin. The Magician is a card that can do everything, but just because you can put your mind to anything and be successful doesn't mean that you should commit to everything. So you really need to be good about setting down your own goals, your own limits, and following them. Because if you can't do that, then other people are going to see that and they may take advantage of you. This is because many of you are just really kind and nice. I see that with the Ace of Cups there. You have a big heart. But if there's something that you care about, remember, you don't want to lose focus, and that's what the Magician reverse can be. The other thing here is that I feel like many of you have worked hard to get over something, someone, and possibly even a certain habit in your life, because in certain scenarios, the Magician can show recovering from, particularly because it's reverse, recovering from a drug addiction or some other sort of addiction in your life. So if you've been able to let go of a habit that you don't want again, whatever that habit could be, it could also just be a way of thinking. Be strong this month. Don't let something take you off of your really positive trajectory. And even if you do stumble, realize that change is still happening, and that was part of your lesson. That's part of your growth. It will not define you. That one moment in time does not define you. It's each decision afterwards and actually how you're feeling right here and right now. So you have the strength, you have the ability, you have the focus to make things happen. Stick with that and allow everything that has happened in the past, even the stuff that you're not so happy about, to be part of your story that makes you strong today. This is going to give you the ability to really prioritize what's important moving forward. You're not going to let yourself get pulled off that track that you've really worked hard to build. Now, as I look at recent past, we have the Queen of Swords. Fantastic that this is upright. Also fantastic that it's right there in the recent past, because it's showing me that many of you have started to find your voice, whether it's literally being able to speak up a little bit more, or figuratively, you understand what it is you're trying to do in the world. Like if you're an artist, your voice could be how you want to touch people, how you want to bring them in and change their mind or change the world. The thing with this is it's showing me that you also want to be very careful with what you put out into the world. This could be in the way of a tweet, it could be in the way of any sort of social media presence, because what you say is going to have a very profound effect on the environment, on yourself, on the world. So choose your words, choose your moment wisely, and I think that's going to be a powerful thing for you. Just remember, again, what you say holds great weight this month, so take your time. It's better to wait, edit, and then post something or say something than to just sort of speak off the top of your tongue and the top of your head, and all of a sudden you wish that you had a moment to edit, because once something is out there, it really is out there. As we look at the crowning card, the message this month is not only to trust yourself, but also to not allow somebody to make you second guess yourself, to get into your head or to kind of pull at your emotional strings, because the High Priestess in reverse is just that. It kind of counters all of the common sense and also intuition that you already hold in your mind, body, and spirit. So it can represent somebody that is close to you, that knows exactly how to kind of pull your strings. And this month you could do a meditation where you are kind of symbolically cutting any strings that are attached to you, even if you don't know the hand that is kind of holding on to those. I mentioned earlier that I was seeing a hand kind of come in when I was looking at believe. If you believe in yourself, you can pull the power back, because the way that I see things anyway is that nobody can really take your power. It's really more of a sense of through fear, through not trusting yourself, through anger, sometimes you relinquish your control or your power. So this month, reclaim anything that you've inadvertently released and take this card and turn it upright. Become the High Priestess. Become centered. Become strong. Manifest. And know that other people are then going to look up to you as a creative force to be reckoned with. This is the same as what we were seeing here, which is not to lose your focus, but instead to really harness all of these great gifts that you had. The two of these cards together, by the way, are kind of unstoppable. So I really want you to be able to take the reversals and bring them into the upright. So in this one, don't lose your focus. Don't fall off a path of strength, of being able to kind of not give in to temptation. Be strong this month. And with this one, I don't want you to allow other people to get in the way of your third eye. Be strong, be awake, and know that basically you're going to be conveying to others that I don't put up with this kind of stuff, and that's going to be really powerful. By the way, with the Magician and the High Priestess, I also see for many of you a really strong connection with somebody. It does not have to be romantic, although as we see when we connect all of these things, we have the Ace of Cups here squarely in the middle. And in fact, the Ace of Cups is showing that for many of you, there could be a little bit of inequity when it comes to maturity. On one side, we have the Queen of Swords, strong, assertive, outspoken. On the other, we have the Page of Cups, which is someone who is a little bit more subtle in communication, a lot more receptive, a better listener often, very sensitive as well. So this could be a compatible match because there's kind of like a natural born leader here and there's a natural born follower, but this person could overpower the other. So if you're in a relationship, whether it is professional or personal, make sure that your voice is heard. If you're the Queen of Swords this month, make sure that you're allowing other people to be heard as well. As aspects of your own personality, this is showing that you may have to temper your communication with kindness, with empathy, with understanding this month. All in all, as long as you keep it in a place of high energy, of love, of compassion, you're going to be okay. Speak from the heart, you'll rarely be led astray. Just don't let that be a place of anger, frustration, or even jealousy. When that happens, take a step back and pause. Remember, as we were talking about with the metamorphosis, that integration period takes time. So if you give yourself some time, if you give people around you some time, then they can grow, then you can grow, and you can avoid a conflict. Thankfully, we didn't get any sort of reverse cards in relation to those two court cards, so I think you'll be okay. I just wanted to mention that there is a little bit of an opportunity for one side or the other to temper how much they're talking and listening this month. Before we move on, I want to talk a little bit more about the Page of Cups in the near future, as well as its counterpart, the Hierophant, in the future. So this is showing that, again, your ability to convey emotion this month could break through barriers, because the Hierophant can be politics, hierarchy, bureaucracy, old ways of thinking. This is showing youth overcoming that tradition. So there may be a change of chairs or power that's happening this month in something that is important in your life. This means a new younger boss or a younger voice in the community or church or something like that could be happening. And you want to embrace this if it's something that you believe in. It could be you as that change maker, knowing that age isn't always the most important thing. How you feel and how you can get other people to feel. That's what makes a good leader. That's what really this whole experience in life is about, I should say, because we're all here to connect to each other. That heart space this month has to be wide open. In your ego this month, we have the Queen of Pentacles, who is a great indicator for growth and expansion when it comes to resources, particularly your money. So I like this. This shows that some of you might be stepping up when it comes to your job situation. You might be beginning your own business or doing something along those lines. It also shows the ability to start a family, because we see in the corner here a couple of rabbits, a sign of fertility. And as I look in your hopes, fears, and possibilities, we have the quintessential card that I think of when I'm looking at pregnancy, and that's the Empress. But she is reversed, and we do have the Six of Swords in the environment. This is showing me that for some of you, there may be sort of discussions that start around, is it time to expand our family? But the time may not be right, or you may need to try a few times. The Six of Swords shows a little bit of distance. This might be stretched out for a few months. But the fact that I see those rabbits in the corner shows me that persistence pays off. So keep trying and give yourself some time and energy to relax too. Six of Swords can indicate a vacation or just taking some downtime. And I think that would be really great for couples that are trying to expand their family. Now, for those of us that are single, what do these cards mean? As I said earlier, this is a month to step up when it comes to work and kind of putting your 110% in there, because it will pay off in the long run. Environmentally speaking, some of you might be traveling for work. You may not be happy about it because the card is reversed. There may also be some vacations that get put on hold or some delays involved with the vacations. I think some of you are overdue as well to create that time and space for yourself. So if something gets delayed, if you haven't booked a vacation, even if you're an independent worker and you don't really get vacation days, this is showing that it's going to be a really advantageous thing because the rest will give you that period of time that you need to create something wonderful. The fertility symbols that we're getting here with the Queen of Pentacles and also the Empress, they're showing that just like anything in your life, if you are trying to create it, it takes time, as I said earlier. And when you take care of yourself, then you're better able to kind of give birth to that project, that idea, that new version of yourself. So it's happening, but I do see a 2 to 3 month evolution. This is just when you start to feel the initial piece of it for many of you. So as I looked at the Hierophant, the message I received is that a direct or a straight line is not always going to be the best way to get something done. Because when we look in your environment, we have the Six of Swords here. This is showing that the person that is going to help you get your way this month or get something completed, it might come from an unexpected source, from someone that may not even be in the same city as you. So for a business transaction or situation like that, it's about picking up the phone and calling someone who knows somebody. In a family situation, it may not be the person that is usually the decision maker. It may be their spouse, their child, or friend that could have a conversation with them and change their mind. This sort of creative problem solving is going to go a long way into helping you get your blocks removed this month. To that end, I see a connection here that I have to highlight. I think that for many of you, there's a woman in your life that can be a really important ally for you. We have the High Priestess reversed. We also have the Empress reversed. The Empress reversed is in that opportunity space, and this is the key for many of you. The Empress is someone that is usually in a position of power, but the reversed one can show someone behind the scenes that kind of flies in as needed to get their way. So this could be a spouse of somebody that you know. It could be an assistant to an executive because she's right underneath the Hierophant. And so you want to work with this person that for all intents and purposes actually is the leader, but there's a figurehead that is in front of them. So you need to work with people around you and behind the scenes, because when you get them behind your point of view, everything falls into place. This is also just a really good note in life. Treat everybody as if they're a leader, because they are, and you never know when that person is going to climb up the ranks. You should treat everyone with respect. It is the person that might have the smallest title that can make the biggest impact on your life this month. So yes, look in the environment. There's somebody there that is a key participant, even if they don't hold the title. It comes across with divine feminine energy. We have four cards that are all female here. We have the Queen of Swords, the High Priestess, the Empress, and the Queen of Pentacles. I'm pretty sure there's a strong woman in your life that can give you a hand. So be open to that and know that some great partnership opportunities could arise with this person. All I will say is they are a force to be reckoned with. So if you have to really find your voice this month and meet them on the level. For some of you, this could be indicating you, and congratulations if that's you, because I see that you have a moment where you're going to shine as well. And if you've been underrepresented or underappreciated, I don't see that being a long-term thing. In fact, there's a note here that it might be time for you to step away. We have the Six of Swords in the environment. So if you are that key person, you could you could basically own your own business or be this position that you're supporting. So I encourage you to do that. I encourage you to take that leap of faith and believe in yourself, okay? So some really exciting development happening. The question is, again, whenever we see these changes, are you ready for the change? Because the change is ready for you, okay? Let's go ahead and expand the forecast. We'll begin with your health card. For me, health isn't just what's going on in your body. More importantly, it's how you're feeling. It's what's going to go on in your mind, body, and spirit. So we'll give the cards a shuffle and see what the message is for this month. The message in health is actually very encouraging here. We have the Victory card, which I really interpret this kind of like the world. It's showing completion, and it's also showing that if there's something that you're trying to overcome or really trying to create in your life, this is the month to make progress in that area. You'll notice also there's an element of meditation involved with this, showing that mind over matter is a key component to the success, to the victory that we're seeing here. Now, in addition to meditation, I also want you to listen to what your body is telling you this month. The High Priestess card often comes through when it's reversed to tell you that you know what you need to do, but for some reason you may not be following through on that. So if there's been this nagging feeling that, hey, I need to go to the doctor to talk about this, or it's time to start to exercise, or I need to change up my diet, then by all means, connect with your doctor, connect with a professional, and get that taken care of, because it's coming through now so that you can have the best possible outcome. It's only when we don't listen to our intuition that things usually kind of fall apart. So listen to yourself and you should be able to avoid any sort of potential problems. I see many of you sitting a lot this month, especially as I'm looking at a lot of these court cards, particularly the Empress, the Queen of Pentacles, and also the Hierophant. So make sure that you're getting out, that you're taking breaks. And for those of you that are overdue for a vacation, take a trip. It's going to invigorate you and really bring you back to a place where you can focus and you feel that vitality that you might be missing in your life. All right, let's move along now to your wealth card. Just like health, this has a few facets to it. It's not just the money that's coming through, it's also the opportunities and how you're either attracting them or pushing them away. So let's take a look at the card and see what the message is for this month. The message in wealth is very interesting because it's about taking care of yourself and taking care of others here. We have compassion. And I mentioned earlier, as we looked at that kind of contrasting combination of Nine of Wands and Ace of Cups, that the heart was going to be very important this month, leading with the heart. Your sense of passion, your sense of joy brings other people in. Also, your sense of empathy and being able to understand what people are going through. That is one of the tenets of a good leader. We don't see that as much anymore, but that is going to be what sets you apart from others. For some of you, there's also a chance for forgiveness, for kind of bridging a gap or any sort of estrangement that may exist, especially since we see a reversal in the Six of Swords, which can be coming home. And attached to that Six of Swords, we have a mother and a father card. The Empress, which is kind of like the divine mother here, and the Hierophant, which indicates a father. Both of these cards are reversed, which for some of you could indicate kind of making peace with the fact that you're going to agree to disagree on certain things. So whether it's family or your community or an old friendship, you might understand that there's no way that you can completely change that person, but you can change how you react to it. And that's what the butterfly can also indicate for some of you. So stress is really our reaction to what's going on around us. When we understand what we can and can't change, then we can change our focus as well and put that energy into something that's better utilized, pretty much. And so I think for many of you, this is a chance to sort of set your priorities and think, do I really want to keep investing in this work situation, this relationship, this project? If I'm not receiving something back, if the other person or that situation isn't feeding me as well. So you can decide to not get sort of worked up about this and take yourself in another direction. And I think that's what compassion is also speaking about, is understanding what you can do, what others can do, how far you can push the needle, forgiving yourself too for any sort of potential setbacks that might happen. I mentioned earlier with the butterfly that as you're adjusting to changes in your life, whether they're changes that you're creating or others have made in their own lives, it takes time for you to kind of fully develop. So be kind to yourself and be kind to others. I think it's going to go a long way, not just for your happiness, but also for your success. And as I said, if you're in a position of authority, leadership, or just someone that people look up to, then this is going to set you apart. And in the long run, it's going to pay off. Let's go ahead now and look at relationships. It's interesting because I feel like that leads into relationships nicely. We'll see if there's any sort of crossover as well. In relationships this month, there's a great message coming from the community. It says, let your friends help. More importantly, ask for and accept the support that you receive from others. I think it's that last part that's the hardest, to be open to receiving. Remember earlier when I was talking about the channeled information about believing in yourself, I said that I saw, a set of hands that were open, ready to give or ready to receive. And lo and behold, you did get an ace, and you got the Ace of Cups no less, which means that you can give and receive love this month, but you have to truly be ready and believe that that can come to you. And be willing to receive the help from people around you. So that could mean that they may know someone that you might like, and they're like, stop by this party, check this out. And even if that's not normally your cup of tea, be open to it. As I said earlier, the only way to sort of break through these old habits for some of you is to try something brand new. One thing that's really important this month is that I see a lot of interconnectedness between who you love, who you're with, and also like your friends and your family. There is someone from the past that's presenting themselves here as the Queen of Swords. They're outspoken, and the best way to deal with them is to just be honest with yourself and with them. There's someone that's coming through this month that maybe lacks maturity, but they wear their heart on their sleeves, so be careful with them, be gentle with them. And for some of you, there might be someone that's meddling or matchmaking right in the middle. And make sure that that person understands what you want. Don't be pushed in any direction. I said that I wanted you to be open to, new situations, new opportunities, but you have to be ready for that as well. I see a lot of leadership, mentorship, and also I would say parental kind of cards here in your love life, which is interesting. And what I would say for you is that it's really important to let people know how, when, and if they can be of support to you. So just know that you're not alone. But it's up to you if you want to accept that assistance. Take leadership, take ownership, and know that this is going to not only help the people around you know how they can be there for you, but it's also going to make you stronger, and call in a higher partner whenever you're ready for that. And if you're already in a relationship, this is going to help that partner see that you're evolving, that you count, and it really will help you get your strength back and power back, something that we talked about earlier. So with that being said, let's look at your destiny card, knowing that destiny is not only a GPS showing you where you're at, but also it gives you a chance to decide, do I like this path? Am I happy in the direction that I'm headed? Or do I want to switch things around a little bit? So let's give the cards a shuffle and see what the message is for destiny. The message in destiny is twofold. The first is don't get distracted. Don't get distracted by all of the stuff going on day to day that makes you sometimes feel impatient and wonder, when is my day going to come? Don't let your emotions cloud your vision either. Don't let other people come in between you and what you're trying to do. As convincing or as meddling as they may be, it's important for you to hold true to what you're trying to do. And pay attention to your dreams, not just the dream of what you want to do in your life, but also this month, there's a lot of psychic energy which is coming through, as we saw with the High Priestess here. The important thing is, are you listening? Are you observing it? Many of you may be distracted or uncertain or afraid of receiving those messages, and that's why this card was reversed. Please listen to those dreams. There's important messages, important road signs that are kind of coming through that will help steer you on the path that you need to be on. The card was all about Archangel Michael, so please feel free to work with him, call in his energy, and feel that you are protected and you're being led by that angel as well. So let's go ahead now and bring everything together into one cohesive review. I know we've been talking for about half an hour, so I'm going to connect all the pieces, remind you of all the salient points, and then leave you with a closing word. As we look at your channeled message this month, anything is possible as long as you believe in it. If you lose that belief within yourself, that confidence within yourself, or as we saw here in the Destiny card, you start to tune out what's coming through in dreams and intuitions, well, then things start to close down. But that's not what wants to happen this month. With this message here, again, I saw open hands or outstretched hands. So are you ready to receive? Are you ready to lean on others and allow them to help you? Because that energy absolutely is present this month. As is the energy of transformation and development, as we see with Butterfly. There was also a note with this card that it's not so much about just kind of opening up your wings or opening up your mind to different possibilities. It's also about allowing yourself time to adjust to those changes once they've started, whether it's a change that you've already felt inside or if you're trying to catch up to what happened around you, because sometimes others believe in you and see something in you long before you do. So whatever side of the fence you're on with that, allow for that time to set in, and sooner rather than later, you're going to be able to stretch your wings and fly. Whatever you're trying to bring into your life, the Nine of Wands is reminding you that it's closer than you think. There is still some work and due diligence on your part that is required, but don't give up the fight. As we see with this person, they have worked way too hard to get where they're at. Some blood, sweat, and tears, as I mentioned earlier. The good news is that you're very close. And in fact, as we look at what is above and below it, you have some great cards of manifestation. Stay focused, believe in yourself, listen to your dreams and listen to the intuitions that are coming through, and they're going to guide you on the right path. The other thing is use passion to your advantage. Be excited, be joyful, bring that sense that whatever it is that you're trying to do, other people want to get on board. That's going to attract them. If you're looking for love, this is a month where it can come through. We have the Ace of Cups, and it's connected by two strong personality cards here. We have the Queen of Swords, outspoken, the Page of Cups, sensitive. And the important thing that we see between the two is that there might be a little bit of an experience gap. This person, however, is very much, I would say, sort of like an old soul in a young body. But the fact that they don't speak up could make this person not see them in the right light. So depends which kind of character you're playing out this month. But if you were the more experienced person, don't let someone's exterior kind of belie the strength and the dignity and the depth of character that I'm seeing with this card. Vice versa. Just because you're young doesn't mean that you can't be on the same playing field as someone else. What's important this month is to not let other people get in the way of you getting your job done. And if they are trying to help, make sure that you set the parameters that make sense for you to allow for that sort of cooperation to happen. Listen to your higher self. As I said, the High Priestess is trying to show you the way. A lot of creative energy is coming through as well. So the High Priestess can be really great for artistic people or anybody that's trying to solve a problem. The answer is kind of right in front of you. You just have to allow for it to come through. As we look at the ego this month, we have Queen of Pentacles showing development and growth when it comes to your resources. It's also a good card for starting a business or starting a family. Just try not to rush that too much, as we see here with the Six of Swords and the Empress. There's a little bit of a delay and a little bit of a stretch that's needed before that can come to its completion or fruition. The Six of Swords in reverse can show someone coming back into your life. Also, for some of you, the necessity for a vacation or a break. The Empress in reverse. Try not to run other people's lives. I didn't talk about this earlier, but a lot of times in the review, something else will come through. If someone asks for your help, that's great. Otherwise, focus on your life and really setting into motion things that you care about. With the Queen of Pentacles card, you can make it happen. Don't give away your time, energy, and affection to people that aren't ready or willing to receive it. That's really the important note with that. To that end, when we see the Hierophant in reverse, there could also be a sort of struggle going on in the environment between two authority figures. Remember what I said earlier, that you don't necessarily have to go straight to this figure or the other one. Move around them. There are people here, either represented by the High Priestess or the Empress herself, that could help you get something done in your life, whether it's like an assistant to a powerful person, a friend, or a family member. There may be a roundabout way that's going to be more time effective and efficient than going directly to that final person. As we look at your expanded forecast, we see a great message in health. You are going to be able to make really good progress in either overcoming something or accomplishing something, as we see with the Victory card here. It's important, however, for you to pay attention. That's a common theme as we look at everything this month. That High Priestess in reverse can really show that you could overlook something if you're distracted or if you're discounting guidance that's coming through your intuition. When we look at wealth, we have a card that's showing that compassion is key, that through cooperation and through forgiveness, you're going to be able to really allow for more opportunities to come into your life. I mentioned that you might find out about a job or be able to get some sort of an approval simply by working with people in your surroundings. And for some of you, you might have to mend a bridge in order to make that happen. There's some travel that's associated with work. For some of you, it may be unexpected, but it does look like it's going to really help you get where you need to be, so be open to that. As we look at love this month, Ask for help. Be willing to accept that help as well. And I mentioned that there's a lot of people here that seem to mean well, but it could be a little bit too much for you. So set the parameters that you want, that you need to really allow for that help to come through. This may be a time where some of your friends are trying to set you up. If that's the case, it's not necessarily a bad thing, but it may indicate, or it may, I should say, result in a union that is unexpected. Two differing personalities, maybe there's an age difference. For some of you, this might be the first time that you think of dating someone of the same gender, because I'm seeing two cards of that's of the same gender. But whatever's coming through, it's unexpected, and be open to it, because this person may lack experience or they may not come through as who you would expect, but it looks like there's a great connection. So honor that. And it also feels like when I see the High Priestess and the Magician, this is also showing me that spiritually and energetically, and even on a pheromone level, there's a sort of inexplicable connection that's happening. So if you're looking for love, this is a month that it could happen. Just know that there's a lot of different personalities in the room. So choose that person because it feels right for you. And if someone in your life doesn't seem to understand that, then really all that's important is that you're happy, and you should feel free to kind of tune that out. It's between you and whoever you're with. As we look at your final card, we have paying attention to your dreams, literally and figuratively. So through your dreams can come symbols, but also the dreams here, this can indicate whatever it is you're trying to create or try to bring into fruition in your life. We have here the card of transformation and discovery here with the butterfly. So know that this is the month that it can happen, if it could happen in any month. So trust yourself, keep changing, keep shifting, keep moving. You're on the right path. So this brings your monthly reading to a close, but I hope that it gave you all of the guidance and all of the pointers that you need to really walk through this month with a feeling of confidence, and also knowing that, as I said earlier, you have what it takes, but you have to believe in yourself. So I hope I gave you the beginnings of that belief, and hopefully you can take the torch from here and make it a great month, okay? If, however, there's something that I didn't have a chance to talk about because this is a general reading, this could be a big life decision, a career change, or some sort of development that you're trying to do with your own spiritual path, feel free to reach out to me. You can click on the first card or that first link below the video. This will take you to my booking site where you can look at my rates and availability. And if it makes sense, please book an appointment and we can continue the conversation there. I look forward to it. Otherwise, if you click on the second card or the second link, this is a great way for you to give back. I mentioned earlier that you all made this possible. That wasn't just a figure of speech. This is all viewer supported. So if you love what you see here and you got something out of the past 40 minutes or so, then please consider joining me on either Patreon or doing a one-time contribution through my website. Or right now, I actually now have a join button here on YouTube as well. Any of the above are a great way that you can help support this channel, not only in making it possible for me to buy the cards, which you see here, but also to set up the time. I try to spend a single day for each video. That's 12 days a month, it's almost half the month. And in order to do that, I do need your support so that I can carve that time out of the calendar. For everybody who's done this in the past, thank you so much. Even those $1 contributions make a big, big difference here. So I want to say thank you so much. And if you're thinking of doing it today, thank you for making next month possible. The third way that you can really help me out is simply by liking and subscribing. So if you haven't done that already, please do that. I get a lot of questions each month, like when are the monthly videos gonna come out? If you could just click on that bell icon, you'll get an email the minute I post new videos. You can also join my newsletter. So why don't you click on the third card and third link if that's something that you would like. And not only can you subscribe to the newsletter there, but you can also join me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook if you haven't already. And if you want to go one step further, you can kind of become an advocate and share this on your social media feeds. This will allow new people to discover this channel. And honestly, I show up every month so that I can raise consciousness and start really good conversations, intelligent conversations around spirituality. So when you do that, you help me accomplish those goals, and I just want to say thank you. The final message that we have today actually comes courtesy of little Apollo here. I want to turn the camera down for a second. You'll see him kind of belly up right there, relaxing. And this goes in nicely with what I was going to talk about for intuitive development here. We have paying attention to your dreams, and also to sort of allowing for the changes to sink in or to happen. There is a component to spiritual growth that isn't often discussed, and that is one of surrender, of simply allowing for things to happen, not fighting the flow. I think for many of you this month, there is a chance to simply let things happen. And not, I mean, I think a lot of you have had to in the past fight for yourself, stand up for yourself. And I can see it here in the recent past. You may have really felt like you had to vocalize everything. It feels like for some of you that struggle is about to end. And if you think of really strong leaders, for instance, they don't always have to show who's boss. They simply have an air about them that I'm in control of this, I'm ready for this, you're gonna listen to me. And if you could start to feel the same way this month, feel like I'm in control of what's going on in my life, I'm ready for the changes, I'm ready for the abundance that wants to flow in, because it does, it's in your ego. And now I want people to be there for me. I want them to receive my guidance and my information and my insight. That can also be what can happen here. The support could be people listening, people following you. So don't underestimate your power. Don't be afraid to just be present and let things kind of soak in. You've earned this chance, you've earned this opportunity. So I hope that you can take it. So that's everything for this month, and I'd simply like to close by saying thank you. You have a lot of choices here on YouTube, also in life, and the fact that you wanted to spend the last 40 minutes or so with me, it means a great deal, and I really hope that I gave you what you needed. Wishing you love, light, abundance now and always. I'll see you again in 1 month's time. Until then, be kind to yourself, be kind to others, and be happy.